All right, so this is my final thoughts on Joseph Parker versus Martin Bakole. Batarbia Bivel's really it's really gone under the table, hasn't it, really, this week? All the talk prior to this show was about Dubois Parker. Then it was what's happening with Dubois. Then it's who replaces Dubois. Now it's Martin Bakole. Then Parker Wade. Mental. It's been a mental last couple of days. We will be going live. I have it penciled in for 9 p.m. tonight. I'm going to do probably the two main events, which is obviously Parker Bakole and then obviously Batarbia Bivol. That might change depending on the running order. Could be earlier, so let's wait and see. But we are going live tonight. We're doing a live watch along. I'm looking forward to it. I flipping love watch alongs for the big events. It's amazing. So we'll be doing that. Given my thoughts on, well, final thoughts really on Parker Bakole. So Joseph Parker weighed in yesterday at a career heavy is 267 pounds. Had he been going in there with Daniel Dubois, I'd be saying right now, for the record, Parker is going to get his ass knocked out in about 5-6 rounds. Silly to come in that heavy. It's not going to benefit him in any way. I just don't understand the rationale behind it. It's probably not going to bite him in a you-know-what fighting Bakole. Now, all things even and all things fair, if Bakole had had a full camp and he'd been, training for 8 to 10 weeks, knowing he's fighting Parker, I would be picking him, very confidently picking him to probably stop Joseph Parker as well. Because again, I think that Bacole's even bigger than Daniel Dubois. He's a big puncher. He is aggressive. He throws a lot of punches. We know what we get with Martin Bakole. So had he come in, after a full camp and all that, I'd be saying Bakole probably knocks out Joseph Parker too. Probably does a similar job to. I could see it go in a similar way that the Joe Joyce fight went, but I could see it ending a lot earlier and arguably just as devastating. Having said that, Bakole took this fight on, 50 hours notice. I mean, it was Thursday evening and he got the word. If you believe the word of Spencer Brown, he's already been in camp. If you believe the word of Ben Shalom, I know, you wouldn't believe the word of either of them, to be honest with you. But one saying he's in shape and one saying he's ready to go, the other saying he's not. Now, he didn't even arrive in Riyadh until the wee hours of this morning. Now, how I don't know. Now, look, I'm not into aviation or anything like that, but you would think, because he's had to get all these connecting flights and this, that, and the other, you would think that Turkey, could just charter him a flight. Just to get a chartered flight and boom, there you go. One way, boom, there you go. Happy days. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs, but you would think that's what you do in this situation. But I am. And he weighed in. Martin Bacole's career heaviest was 299 pounds, basically 300 pounds. So that was his career heaviest. Prior to this, now we knew, obviously, if he's getting ready for a fight in May, he's not going to be at his optimum weight. You would know that, but how far away roughly is it? And 299 is not his optimum weight, by the way. I would say it's less than that. Well, he's weighed in, and I've heard conflicting reports. Some have said 315, some have said 317. Now, bear in mind, he has weighed in, apparently, from what I'm hearing, with his clothes on. So you can knock a couple of pounds off for that. But he's still north of 300 pounds. That says to me that he was probably, if he was in training camp, he was in the very early stages. And if he was basing himself in Scotland and he was going to the Congo to buy property, it was, I'm doing a little bit of, ticking over in Scotland, or let's go to the Congo and buy this. Believe who you want to believe. But Bakole, for me, he doesn't look in shape. He never looks in shape. He's never the body beautiful type, but he really doesn't look in shape to me. And for that reason, I'm going with Joseph Parker heavily to win this fight on points. I don't think he'll stop Bakole. But what I will say is Bakole probably doesn't have 12 rounds. Well, he definitely doesn't have, I would imagine, 12 rounds at a good pace in him. But he probably has 3 to 4 rounds early on in the fight where he is going to know, I can't do the rounds, so let's try and get him out of here like that. So I reckon from the opening bell, it is just going to be ba-bang. And it is going to be fun for the first couple of rounds. It is going to be carnage for the first couple of rounds. If Parker can get through those rounds, I reckon he's going to play it cautious. Again, if you've got a massive guy coming at you and he's going to be physically stronger, even with Daniel Dubois, he hits hard, he's going to look to take your head off in the first couple of rounds, you want to be mobile. You're going to be mobile at 267. Ain't going to happen. So yeah, I don't understand the logic behind Parker putting on all this weight. I've seen people commenting saying that's being the Fury influence and stuff like that. Andy Lee is very as cousins with Tyson Fury. I don't get it. The packing on weight, like Tyson Fury, his weight, natural weight, would probably be in the high 260s, low 270s, thereabouts. So when he's weighing that, and bear in mind, you could say, well, when he put it on against Wilder, well, he probably didn't even put it on. That's probably his natural weight. He's just not trying to boil himself down. It worked well in that sense. But when you have a fighter who's naturally, say, 240, and you pack on 25 pounds for no apparent reason, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. You hear fighters who say, oh, well, I weighed 240 pounds and people were saying I should get lighter, but I felt weak. Yeah, that's because you don't keep yourself in shape. That's because you went on a crash diet and lost it all like that. If you do it incrementally and you actually stay at that weight instead of ballooning after a fight back up to two God knows what, of course you're going to feel flipping weak. The idea is that you actually maintain your weight and you get down to a healthy weight normally and reasonably, and you stick at that weight or close to it, that you're not, you hear someone like Dave Allen who's like, whenever he was in shape, he'd be in the 230s and he'd be like, I felt very weak. Yeah, of course you would. You weigh 270 out of camp and you lose 40 pounds, of course you're going to feel weak. The idea is to stay at that weight or close to it, and then you won't feel weak. So when fighters pack on all this weight, I don't really like it. It probably won't bite Parker in the you-know-what in this fight. I say probably won't. But had it been Dubois, yeah, his ass would have got knocked out, in my opinion. Those are my thoughts on this. Parker to win this fight on points. It's going to be epic while it lasts, certainly. Certainly for the first couple of rounds, I think it will. But Bakole, 315 pounds. I've heard heavier, I've heard 317, but either way, it's still north of 300, which I don't know if that's a good idea at all. I mean, I've heard rumours. And again, these are rumours. I want to point that out. I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard people saying that Bakole's purse for this fight is £475,000. Surely not. It can't be. For a fight like this, you're giving up a potential mandatory shot against F.A. Ajagba. You're giving up that to face Joseph Parker on 2 days' notice. Surely not. It can't be that little. Because the tax man's going to get some, Nelson's going to get some, and as the manager, he's going to get even more. Surely, it has to be more than that. Can't be. I mean, why would you take a fight? I don't know. It has to be more than that. I can't imagine it is 475,000. It can't be. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on everything I talked about. Hope you enjoyed it, people. I will catch you all later. Until then, peace.